Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another Web Dev Junkie video. In this video, I'm doing another CSS Battle challenge. More specifically, this one down here with this little like rhombus or rectangle that's kind of rotated. If you don't know what the site is, or if you're new to the site, it's basically just a way to challenge your CSS skills by kind of doing different challenges to building out these cool shapes and designs. So if that is something that is interesting to you, be sure to stick around. Alright, so let's just go ahead and click into this one. This one looks like it'd be pretty interesting to do and probably not too hard. So let me zoom in a little bit for you all. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's just go ahead and change the background color. Typically this first number over here is your background color. So I'm going to say body and then background is that. And then it'd probably be good to style that rectangle that's in the center of the page. So what I'm going to do, which I didn't do in the last videos, is basically use Flexbox to center these objects right in the center of the screen, and then we can kind of add padding or whatever to get them to be where they need to go. Whew, I can't talk right now. I'm going through some caffeine withdrawal. I haven't had caffeine in 2 days, so I have a really bad headache. It's really hard to function. So if you're addicted to caffeine, you should try to get off of it. Anyway, so I'm going to say display flex on the body, and then I can say justify content, center, and align item. I think it's items, yeah, center. And that's going to center that orange rectangle to the center of the screen, but we want to basically change the background color of that rectangle or square to match the color that we're doing here. All right, so next thing you'll notice is that this center square could be expanded to take the full width of the page. So I could say width of 300 pixels or 400 pixels until we get it right. Might need more than that. I don't know. You can make it 500 and make sure it's going off the page for real, but I think these are 400 by 400 canvases. I don't know. Anyway, 500. And then for the height, we could just try some different values. So maybe 150 is right. Yep, 150 looks pretty good. You know what, if you look at it, it's actually not, my width is bigger than what theirs is, or smaller. Okay, so I have some margin on the body I need to get rid of. So that would do it. And since I really want to make sure I get this, I think it's 400 width. Okay, I just talked about that, but whatever. So I'm going to change this to background rectangle. I'll just call it rect. And we can apply that class to our div. Right? So now at this point we want to also make a square that's kind of rotated on the center of the page to do this kind of darker color square. So let us go over here and make another div and call it dark square. Alright, so for the dark square, I'm going to add a class down here, and I'm going to give that a background of whatever this color is, so I'll just copy that in. And one thing you'll notice is probably close to like 300 pixels in width. So let me just go ahead and add 300 pixels there and 300 pixels. And I'm going to add position of absolute so that it should be put into the center of the page. And now we just need to rotate it, right? So if we can give it some type of transform, we can rotate it, I think 90 degrees to make it look like that rotated square. So I'm going to say transform, rotate 90 DEG. I think that's how you do it. Maybe it's rotation. Oh, that's because I don't want to rotate it 90 degrees. I want to rotate it 45 degrees. So that would be why. So yeah, we have that. Let's just reduce the width and the height and see if we can get it to be where it needs to be. And that actually lined up pretty good. So let's move on to the next rotated square. So we already know how to rotate the square. So I think what would be cool is if we could just add a rotate class and just add those things to it. And then we could have a light square. So I'll add another div called light square. And that is going to be a copy and paste of dark square, but we can change the background color to be this. And then we can add rotate to both of these. Just to kind of clean up some code so we're sharing some styles. And then for the width, let's try 150 and height of 150. Dark square is no longer showing up, so I don't know what I did wrong. Oh, I've overwritten the style. That's probably why. So I'm gonna change this to light square. Okay, so now that actually lined up perfectly. So now we're just left with the last element, which is this circle that's right in the center. So I'm gonna add another div called circle, and I'm going to give it a color of whatever that is. So I'll say background of that. And I think this width looks like it's like 50 by 50 or 100 by 100. So give it a width and a height of 100. I will give it a position of absolute, and then I will give it a border radius of 50%. If I could type, and that's way too big, so let's move it down to 50. And there you have it. That's how you recreate this Tesseract CSS Battle challenge. And yeah, if you have any other suggestions of how to do this, I guess I should submit it and see how many points we get. Cool, so we got a perfect match, 100% match. And a little recap, basically, you just have one very long rectangle in the background. You have two rotated squares with different background colors, and then you have a circle right in the center, and that's basically all you need to do. So that wraps up this little video. If you are interested in seeing more of these, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment if you want me to move on to a different challenge that you're interested in seeing. It seems like most of these are pretty straightforward once you know how to do border radius, once you know how to center things, and also once you know how to rotate things. Like, all the challenges really just are based around that: positioning, rotation, and border radius. So at this point, I'm not sure if I'm really learning anything new, but it is fun to do. So thank you all so much for watching, and happy coding.